Guys, welcome back to the Physique Factory podcast. And today I have no idea what we're going to be talking about. So Connor's going to lead the way.
It's usual, isn't it? I've sent James over a little video and I want him to have a little look at it. And we'll start by talking about that because we're going back to our roots of just slagging exercises, I think, James, aren't we?
I think that's what people love, like literally just slagging things off.
So the context behind this video, this guy actually is slagging off an exercise. I don't know if I 100% agree with him. I need to remind myself, but James is going to watch it now, so we'll see what he thinks. You've watched it, Gav, haven't you?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. So Gav's ahead of the game. I'm going to rewatch it here as well, just to remind myself. We'll get James's live reaction though. Got a missed call of someone too. Who's that? No idea.
Should have fucking played it on the screen and shared it.
That's what I thought he was doing that now.
All right, cool. I'll do that then. Right.
Do that.
He was ready to sit on his phone and be like, yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering what the fuck you was doing.
No,
Just put his phone round and be like, there you go, James, you watch it here.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Do that.
Right, let me just grab it up first before I share my screen.
Make sure you close all the porn tabs down. You don't want to be sharing them.
Yeah, I've already closed them. It's all right. Right. How do we share? And then here we go. Declan McMichael's the guy. Sorry, Declan, you're getting called out in our podcast. Right, how do we start this again? Do I just refresh? Right, okay. Play music.
Absolute worst exercise to train. Quite a few of these videos, and it's always fun to read the comments because the anti-optimal movement is so strong these days. So let's break down the barbell row. The barbell row tends to get called a lat exercise, but it is very clearly an upper back exercise due to the amount of humeral abduction and shoulder internal rotation, and the fact that you're moving through protraction and retraction, which trains the traps and rhomboids, not the lats. That's the anatomy covered, so let's look at the disadvantages of programming the barbell row. The barbell row uses a barbell, which means your hands are fixed in a certain position, and this puts a lot of stress and pressure on the joints of the arm to do their job very well. And this can very quickly lead to issues for some people, particularly bigger guys with limited rotation. A better option would be a movement where the handles can rotate, so you could easily manipulate position to suit your body mechanics and reduce joint stress. The biggest issue though with the barbell row is the fact that you have to hinge at your hips to stabilize yourself, which drastically reduces load and motor unit recruitment at target muscles. What this means is because you have to contract at your hamstrings, glutes and lower back isometrically to maintain this position, the target muscle, the upper back, is significantly limited in its ability to recruit higher threshold motor units. A better option would be a movement where your chest is supported. If we couple the need for stability with the need for rotating handles, holy shit, we have a T-bar or chest supported row. It's almost like these were created to fix the issues that barbell rows have. Barbell row.
Thoughts, James? What are we thinking?
So he's literally just slagging off a barbell row, saying it's bad. Let's take it back to the fucking obvious answer where, oh, it depends. What's the goal and what's the fucking person doing it and what's the preferences and all that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it totally depends. I mean, if you want to, you're going to be able to challenge more things with a barbell row. I'm not saying a barbell row is definitely not a bad exercise, but you can, like, you're challenging your erectors because they've got to work isometrically to hold yourself in that position. I don't think it's a bad exercise, and to be fair, I'd use it from time to time. Obviously, it depends on like how what your anatomy and your structure's like. Say if you're lacking that internal rotation and that, like, so somewhat pronation, not really pronation, but maybe if you do like an underhand grip where it's like supinated, might be an issue. But yeah, for me, I wouldn't program it in just because, again, it's that internal rotation in that abducted position. It doesn't feel the best in my shoulders, but some of my clients love it, so I do put it in there. And if they can progress it well, then yeah, literally, if they compress it, they can fucking, I can't speak. If they can progress it well, if they can fucking, I can't speak.
Come on, James.
If they can progress it well, then that's all I care about.
I think something to state, just like almost like a disclaimer, is anything shoulder internal rotation, James is out. He's out of it. So he's got his own bias.
I don't mind it, literally. That's what I mean. Literally, I'm just saying I don't mind it. I don't mind internal rotation of the shoulder. As long as it's not causing any issues, then it's fine.
But you are quite limited there, because I remember it even when you were doing like some bodybuilding poses and you're trying to do a front relax, like your hands want to be out here. They don't want to come down into that position, do they?
especially my left shoulder, would not take it. Even when I'm doing like a T-bar row, it's mad how they fucking compared an actual chest-supported T-bar row where the handles are fixed with a barbell row where the handles are
It
fixed.
did have those like swivelly handles. To be
Oh yeah, those things.
fair.
Yeah, but not all like gyms have those T-bars.
Yeah. So where I had a problem with it, I totally agree with him. It's like a bent over row most of the time. Obviously, it depends how you do it, but most of the time is an upper back focused exercise, and I would say quite a decent one to be honest, for if that's what you're trying to target. But where I had a problem with it is he's like, oh, it's a lack of stability. You'll be able to do way more with chest support. So you take that exercise, right, the bent over row, and you do a seal row, right, which is a bent over row with a chest support. You're not doing more weight. You're doing like half the fucking weight. So actually, I would say he's wrong there.
Yeah.
You're doing less weight, and then your spinal erectors aren't exactly getting too much either because you've got that support there. Like what you said, like it's one of those. If it works for someone, then perfect. If it doesn't, and you start to get niggles in your shoulder, probably not the best thing for you.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose with the seal row, the reason you don't get it is because it's stricter. That's the big thing behind it. And people tend to, with bent over rows, they do tend to get a bit messy with them.
Yeah, they lean back and extend a lot, don't they? And just literally launch the thing up. With a seal row, you can't get away with that shit because you're horizontal.
Yeah. I don't know if I like a seal row, especially like again from a gym owner's perspective, how much space they fucking take up.
Oh, fucking massive, aren't they?
Yeah, they are big bastards. Like, but yeah, I just thought it was an interesting video. And again, everyone out there's got this agenda of like either we're optimal or we're anti-optimal, and it's like, well, the answer is usually somewhere in the middle. And I would say I don't 100% agree with him either. I wouldn't just take a barbell row and say, "Oh, stop doing it and do a chest support row." I like a T-bar row. I don't see that as an exact like for like, yeah, we're working the same area, but it's different.
The one thing that you can't come back with and say, "Oh, but Dorian did it, but Arnold did it." I mean, that's not a good enough answer. You got to give like a mechanical breakdown and just say why. Give the right answers, not because someone else fucking did it. Obviously, it worked for them. It was massive, weren't they? But even like you're saying, it's not a lat exercise. It's not like your lats don't work when you're doing it. Your lats fucking work anyway. They're just not in that. They're not mechanically as leveraged in that abducted position. Like they're still going to be working. It's not like your lats fall off like 100%. They're still contributing towards the exercise.
Yeah, and it's that saying that Tom Purvis says is like everyone's on the team, but some guys have just got the ball, and in this case, like the guys that have got the ball are going to be the stuff that make up the upper back musculature. So, or the mid back. I always find that a funny term. People are like, "This works mid back," and you're like, "What is the mid back? What is that?"
Where does your mid back start compared to mine?
Yeah.
We're talking about the transverse fibers of the traps.
Perhaps talking about upper lat fibers maybe as well. I don't know. I think because like when they're pulling towards like the midpoint. They're like, this is a middle back exercise. And you know what? For all intents and purposes, that'll be fine. You'll be all right. You won't die.
I think when people say, "Oh, low back, low row," it's like it's a shrug. It's nearly a shrug.
Yeah, it's actually the opposite of your lower back. It's actually right at the top. That's true. I wonder what else we can pull up and slag. I'll let you boys continue the conversation. I'm going to try and find something for us.
Gab, did you see that shit at the weekend?
Oh yeah, honestly, terrible.
Fucking
Absolutely brutal. I actually feel sorry for fucking Casemiro.
He's lost it, hasn't he? He's just
Yeah, I've lost it, but there's also I seen something as well. It was on Sky Sports that they analysed the game, and I don't know if this person who was analysing it was fucking clutching at straws, being a Man United fan, possibly or not. But they were saying that potentially the referees caused him to be in a position where he's had to make a pass that he shouldn't have made because of the position the referee was in. Because when you look at both scenarios, the ref's been in front of him almost through a passing lane that the ball could go through to one of the midfielders or strikers. So they were analysing it that way as well. I don't know if they were just trying to fucking help him out or not. It did make sense when you actually looked at it and seen it. Because if the ref was sort of like more to the side or more parallel to him rather than being fucking like boom right there, he might have been able to play out and play forward. Instead, he's had to sort of come back and play sideways.
But then he could have like booted the ball towards the ref's direction.
I just smacked him out.
Yeah, that and then play stops anyway. So
he just looks lost. But
yeah, he's left exposed, didn't he? In the way playing.
He's not a ball playing midfielder. Like at Real Madrid, he was the dirty bastard who went and won the ball back, and then he passed it to Toni Kroos or Modric, who played football. Yeah. They were the ball players. Casemiro was the person who moved side to side to break things down and just be like a little bulldog.
Yeah.
It's the same with that Ugarte.
Yeah,
But
he's not a passer. He's definitely
the difference is he's just got legs.
Yeah.
Well, who's going to be your passer? Manu?
no.
We're struggling to fit Casemiro and Manu together. If anything, you could almost say that the new regime under fucking what's his puss is exactly the same as what it was under the Glazers anyway, under Ratcliffe and under the Glazers, because every transfer window he's asked for De Jong.
Yeah, and that's the
There's a reason for it, is because he can keep the ball in small spaces and play out from the back. So it's that type of player he needs. But I don't understand why they're not doing it. I mean, if you're going to back him and give him another year, surely you go for the player that he desperately wants to make the midfield tick.
We can still get like for now that Rabiot, because he's the sort of playmaker, isn't it? And then put a guy next to him. So then you got a playmaker, then you've got someone who's going to get stuck in and work well, and you got Bruno on the 10. So I think that's how it works. We just need like a proper playmaker like that. Zubimendi, he would have been good.
Yeah, 100%. You can look at it as well, like so many teams these days are trying to create a Fernandinho and a Rodri, and they're unique that they can do both.
Yeah.
They can play football, move the ball forward, pass through fucking tight angles, play in small spaces. Like, they're a different breed of football player.
There's not a lot of them.
Nah.
Did you watch the big game at the weekend, more importantly?
What game was that?
The
St
big
Johnstone
games.
game, aye. They got beat 2-1 for Motherwell. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, Rachel's uncle didn't take it well.
No, you didn't. Did you?
Did you send that to James?
Oh, no, I've not sent it, but it's fucking amazing. Oh, it's so good. You should pull that up. Pull that clip up.
well, I've found one for you anyway, like an actual exercise-related one. But I just have to say, Man United sound like the Rangers of England. That's all.
Aye. Here, I'll tell you what, Man United are playing Rangers in fucking January. I'm trying to get tickets for it.
That'd be
Where's that, home or away?
It's down in Manchester.
All right.
So I'm going to try and get tickets for that and go down. I might even get hospitality. I'll see how I feel.
I'd like to say he's a win that, but then I actually didn't care who's working.
That game has got 0-0 all over it. Not a bit of football will be played in that game, unless, to be fair, something changes over the period of time from then until fucking the game. Plus, the transfer window might be open. So
I listened to that Clyde Super Score or whatever they call it, where they call in on like the radio, and there's this guy who's like, I'm 38 years of age and I can't see Rangers winning another league before I'm 50, and I'm like, yes, I love it, brilliant, keep it coming.
To be fair, Celtic were good, but Rangers are fucking terrible.
See, I think we're good, but I don't even think we're 100%.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
I think Rodgers is still another transfer window or two away from having a settled team that he wants. I think there's still players there that he's a bit like that back four. He's just dealing with that back four.
Yeah, they were great, and they've been great all season.
They were good, but fucking aye. I think Rodgers was obviously on speaking about post-match, and somebody had asked him a question about Liam Scales, and it was like, look, he's not your typical sexy footballer, but he's doing the job that we need him to do right now, and it's fair play.
He did say that as well. He said sexy.
Aye.
Weird word to use. Anyway, found you the video. Let's watch it.
Did Celtic sell someone? Was it like O'Reilly or someone?
Yeah.
Aye. And then within 5 minutes of his debut for Brighton, he got crocked.
Yeah. I thought he went to Brighton, yeah.
Aye.
Can't give your money back now, though.
Nope.
Right, let me share my screen. Let's get another one. It's Jeff Nippard. I had to pick on someone that's got quite a big following.
Just tag him in this podcast.
Yeah. To be fair, I think his stuff's a bit so-so. Like sometimes, like it's all right, and then other times. So this is the what?
Muscle building exercises that most people skip, but you should definitely include if you can. First, deficit push-ups. A lot of people think of push-ups as a beginner exercise, but as long as you use a deficit, you'll get an amazing pec stimulus. To make them harder, pause for 3 seconds.
Yeah, so let's start with that. Like before we watch the rest of it, like yeah. So that's what he's playing at there, isn't it? Like a bit of a length and partial.
Everyone's fucking buying into this shit. I've been watching loads of YouTube videos and stopped watching people just because, just go as deep as you can. It's like, that's all that matters. The stretch at the bottom, you don't have to load it that much. I was like, no, because you're losing. If you go as deep as you can on something like that, the pecs lose the leverage to add up from that position. So if we stay in that active range, whatever you call it, where we can get to naturally, our pecs are going to be in a more leverage position to produce more tension.
Yeah, and the thing is, we know that when we get into a deeper stretch, we're going to get more soreness the next day. So the people that are doing this will be doing it. They'll be, oh, that feels fucking great. I've got DOMs and everything, and it feels effective, but is it any more effective? Like the way he's doing those push-ups there, how many people have got the range to actually fucking do that as well?
Exactly. Not a lot of people.
Yeah, that's just asking for an upset shoulder. So deficit push-ups. I've actually never done a deficit push-up in my life. I didn't even really think about it as a thing. What's your thoughts?
I've done a fucking push-up.
Push-ups are an underrated exercise, I would
They
say.
probably are, yeah. But for the kind of people I work with, trying to ask them to go and do a push-up's like, nah, whoa, can't
Yeah.
even fucking retract your shoulder blade shit. Like, fuck that, get that in the bin.
Yeah, I mean the deficit's definitely it's a strange one to put in first, but I suppose
It looks like an easy exercise, but it is honestly like the amount of people that can't do that is unbelievable.
yeah, and there's all the demands elsewhere as well. There's a big
Yeah.
hip flexion demand or hip flexor demand.
That's it. It's like when people say, "Oh, a bodyweight squat is an entry level exercise," which it's definitely not because there's so much skill required to perform a movement.
Some people use a single-legged squat as a fucking assessment, a pistol squat.
Wow, fucking stupid.
Good luck.
Imagine getting an form that.
Let's go on to this next one, which I believe is it's still playing here. Let's just let it come back around. Can you see that? No, I need to share it, don't I?
No, you need to share it. My dog's currently chewing the fucking window to try and get out as well, honestly.
I would let her out, Gav.
Nah, it's pissing with rain. She'll come in absolutely minging.
Right, you guys see this, so let's get back. He's kind of cheating a little bit here, but come on, let's get back to the second one, and then we'll play the music again.
Oh, I'm going to let her out to do my fucking nothing.
Oh, you can pause it, right? Fuck's sake, I'll do that next time.
See, you don't even want to go out.
Right, deficit push-ups. We're not agreeing with you, Jeff. Sorry.
My name's Jeff.
You get more stimulus apparently. Right, overhand lat pull down.
Lat pull down. A lot of optimal lifters will skip this one in favor of the one-arm kneeling lat pull down. But despite the fact that people call it more science-based, there actually isn't a single study on it. Sure, it's great for isolating the lats, but the standard lat pull down is better for overloading more of the back as a whole. Third, the fourth.
Oh God, fucking hell! He's just picked the most stupid exercise to compare it to without no actual stability or like support. You can't compare those exercises.
There isn't any studies on it, guys.
That looks more like a row down he was doing rather than a pull down based on his position. Like he's rolling into it rather than actually pulling it into the lat.
Someone's commented you made the one arm kneel and pull down famous. But like the kneel and pull down, I think we all know James's thoughts on this because he's posted about that a few times. But
It triggers them, eh?
Yeah, I mean, like the kneel and pull down, like I can see why people wouldn't use that because it is like from a stability point of view. The minute you start getting strong in that, you're fucked. Where would I use it? Maybe if someone was in a busy gym, they couldn't get in a lat pull down, they couldn't get a bench. Maybe
even
you can do 30, 40 reps.
Yeah, I mean that you can do that. To be fair, that is the thing, and like I've seen me using certain exercises, not that one in particular, but ones that lack stability later in the program when someone's going to be like more tired, so it's like more effective essentially. But yeah, not a big fan of that. But then like I suppose what he's saying is the underrated one is the wide grip pull down. And I would probably tend to agree with that in the sense of like a lot of people are now just like avoiding it and in place of like some sort of neutral grip pull down sort of thing. But again,
it's more Terry's rhomboid sort of stuff, like the wide grip pull down. I use it for mainly that focus. Obviously, you're in more abduction, aren't you? So, like we said at the start of the video, obviously your lats are going to work to a certain degree, but obviously there's other muscles that's going to be more biased to do that job.
I would say it's like it's not that latty up here, but it is down here. You get more lats at the bottom, which most people are doing it to try and target their lats. So, is it the best lat exercise? Probably not. But is it a bad one? No, I wouldn't say so. And I would say it comes into those underrated ones. I would agree with him on that. Like, but I think we can all appreciate as people who make content, like sometimes it's fucking tough. Like he's putting that first one in there. Probably for a reaction, I'd imagine, of some sort, because it's a bit out there, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to think about things like this and how they actually make the content. And he's definitely wanting the engagement, even if it is negative.
Yeah. The negative engagement's actually usually quite good. It's like quite fun because like then you get a comment back and then they comment back and that just keeps your video going as well. So I still get likes on one that James done. Remember I'd done that. You put up it was a single arm pull down actually, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's got 1.2 million views that now.
Yeah, and I commented saying something about it working the exterior fibers of the what was it? The fucking
Intercostals.
oh, the intercostals. Aye, yeah, that's what it was. Aye, and people were fucking like raging, thinking I was serious. And then I told someone I was joking, and she's like, "It's so irresponsible of you." I was like, "Fuck off, man! Just it's a joke. Get over it." Right. What's he saying about 45-degree preacher curl?
45-degree preacher. It locks your elbow in, which prevents cheating, and because of the dumbbell's resistance path, it applies high tension in the stretch. Just don't do them with a vertical arm because you'll have zero tension at the bottom. Fourth, Smith machine.
Oh, don't do them with a vertical arm because you have zero tension at the bottom.
Oh,
I would say,
Only at the very bottom when you're fully extended.
yeah, with a vertical arm, like with that other pad that he was using the opposite side, you're actually getting a resistance profile that more closely matches the strength profile. So it actually might be a more complete exercise than the 45-degree one.
yeah.
You could argue.
Maybe you need to see the line. No, I think the 45-degree one it drops off even more at the top, doesn't it? And
Go
it's
back.
low.
Go back.
Yeah,
Let's watch
I'll
this.
get him back.
That one was pretty quick.
It
Yeah,
was quick,
45.
wasn't it?
Yeah, 45-degree one. You're getting more
More at the bottom, less at the top.
resistance at the bottom. Less
Or
at the top.
not the complete bottom, but kind of midway.
Yeah.
Go through this fucking press up again.
Um,
I mean, for
so-
him, that looks like no issue, that press up.
I don't know. I bet his fucking shoulders are in agony after that.
It probably came off. He's like, ah, fuck.
Yeah.
Right, come on. Come on, Jeff. That's killing James even watching that.
How tall is it?
I don't think he's that tall. I think he's like my height. Right, so there's this 45-degree one. So at that point there, you have still got a moment arm there. You've still got a good bit of tension there. Did I play it again and get it moving? Or no, we can see it, can't we?
Yeah. You're still not getting like a lot. I mean, you want to have it even more, like about 30-degree, roughly, to load that length and position, don't you?
That's not a very straight line.
So
But
it's gonna be harder at that mid-range ish as soon as he starts lifting up a bit.
How can I take that off? If you think about the dumbbell, where's it going to come? It's going to come. So if that's that there.
round.
It's kind of that's the worst fucking line ever, but
Fuck you now.
but it kind of yeah.
To be fair, it's close enough. You're not a million miles off, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not easy to draw on this, right? Anyone watching, it's not easy to draw on this. You could just got a Hitler mustache.
Oh, he's doing Harry Potter then. Doing it United.
Harry Snodder.
Didn't know Jeff was a neo-Nazi. But right, so if you
those jokes.
Was that
you and those jokes, like that thing you was gonna post for Elevate, fucking,
don't talk about it.
That is fucking wild, eh?
that is fucking wild. It was like, yeah, that's a bit too far. That
I was like, maybe keep that type of shit for your current group of clients who know you've got a fucking terrible sense of humor.
Some might get it based on that alone. But anyway, so let's pull it back to how do I get that off? Let's pull it back to like this exercise. If you're going to program it in for yourself, let's just talk about for you, for me, for James. What one would you use? Would you use the 45-degree one? Would you use like what would you call that? Fucking 0-degree. The other side, the vertical one.
Fuck the resistance profile. I like it at 45 degrees. I've tried him a little bit more, like where you can move the bench down a bit more, so it's like about 30 degrees. I've tried it like that. It doesn't feel the best on my elbow at the bottom. So I'm like, because it's being loaded a lot in that lengthened position, and it just doesn't feel the best. Feels the best for me in that 45-degree position. So I go with that.
Yeah, I'm the same. 45-degree position for me as well.
If I'm using a preacher curl, I'm using it to try and get a shortened range exercise, or not like a lengthened range exercise for my biceps. So I actually like, if I'm doing a preacher curl, I like using a cable and trying to set it up so I'm getting maximal resistance or as much as possible in this position. So probably say neither, but I like the vertical one. Like I think because like again, if you're going for, if I had one bicep exercise to do, I'd go for the more vertical one because it's like you're getting a complete profile is what I would say. That'd be my argument with that. But is it an underrated exercise? Do you think it fits into his criteria?
No, because everyone fucking uses it still.
Yeah, no, everyone does it.
I'm not known one fucking person who's slagged it off. I think it's perfectly fine. I mean, I use the seated incline curl. You know, when you're on like the bench is about like 30 odd degrees, leaning back, you're in a lot of like shoulder extension, and then you'd more length with a bicep.
What do you think of that? Because like a lot of people are doing that now. Do you know what he means, Gav?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like where they're basically fucking lying down doing a dumbbell curl.
Yeah.
As long as your elbows feel okay and it lines up fine, then that's sweet.
I don't like it. I don't like how it feels. Like I just feel like it feels like a bit almost. I don't know if I want to say unstable because that's not really the word, but I never feel like I get going good with it when I've tried it anyway.
I need to have the bench sitting up a little bit higher so it's not quite upright, maybe like one backwards, and then allow my elbows to sort of be pulled back a little bit to come up.
Yeah.
I don't like lying right on my back or anything or close to the floor.
Let me show you the one. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. The one that I think James is referring to.
I think I know what one you're on about. Is that not the one that the boy
think we're talking about
Yanis
different things.
spoke about as well?
I posted one.
Did you?
Yeah, I posted one. Look at mine.
Because it's like a more of a lengthened range partial thing again that they're trying to do. This, right? Okay, you can't see it. Wait a minute. Let me share again. I want to figure out how to. It's a very different podcast, this, but I like it. Right, can we see this?
Yeah, see, I'd be a little bit more upright on this.
Yeah,
That's too
I'd
far
be-
back for me.
Yeah, I'd be more right than that.
So this is what I thought you were talking about, James.
Yeah, it's like that, but the elbows stay back; they don't come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, what are they kind of doing this for? Like, but see, when I've seen them do it in the past, this is where they kind of end up.
Yeah, love the lengthened position.
Yeah.
I'll drops off at the top. Like if you can argue that as he gets to the top of the range, like there's no bicep really there. It's fuck all.
Yeah, he goes over the joint.
Yeah. But like, I just don't like that at all. Like, it seems to be a thing now, but like, it's just too much load. Although he's bringing his arms back down there, so he's actually kind of cheating it. Like, you know, he's doing it like a normal, almost like seated bicep curl. But I've seen them where they're kind of ending in that position there, where they've got all that load in the length position. So they're ending like more. Oh, I'm trying to pause it.
Yeah, where they
Like there.
Yeah, there.
Yeah. I just don't see. I think it's just asking for a fucking injury, to be honest.
Yeah, I suppose that's why he's lifting fucking 1.25s.
Yeah, he's not even doing it right anyway. If that's what he's trying to do, I don't know. I don't know what he's trying to do, but it's them guys that I've seen doing it, and obviously I butchered Mike Edgertel's name up there. Or did I? Is that how you spell it?
That's it, I think.
Is it? Weird name. Anyway, right. The fourth of the four most underrated exercises.
It locks your elbow in, which prevents cheating, and because of the dumbbell's resistance path, it applies high tension in the stretch. Just don't do them with a vertical arm because you'll have zero tension at the bottom. Fourth, Smith machine squats are great because there's less skill involved, so you don't need to overthink your form or worry about falling over. You can just hammer your quads and get close to failure. These are...
What do you think of that?
People do Smith machine squat anyway, so it's not really like underrated.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say a lot more people would do a barbell squat over a Smith machine squat, so I can see his point.
They probably do just because that's the norm. However, I do see a lot more people doing a Smith machine squat than what you used to. And a lot of that might just be, again, stability wise. It is, you're getting a bit more stability out of the movement. You're probably having to recruit a little bit less in certain areas as well. If you think about if you're on a barbell and you're having to sort of like stop yourself coming forward or going back, you're going to be working spinal erectors, abs. You're going to get that abs when
you
you're
can
doing
adjust the way you fold up in it as well, because you're not worrying about staying balanced anymore.
Yeah.
You've
Your
not
legs
got-
can come forward, you can go a little bit further back, you can bias probably a bit more of the quads in the Smith machine as well if you really wanted to, depending on your foot position.
So going back to Dorian did it. Dorian did that. He used to squat on a Smith machine, didn't he? So like, and the reason he done it is because he said it was better on his lower back, and that's because he could maintain a more of an upright position because he can change how he folds up. When you're squatting, if you're squatting with a barbell, you're going to fold up in a certain way to keep your center of mass over your base of support and not fall over. There's like no two ways about that. You can change obviously foot positions and you can use like heel wedges and things like that, but in the Smith machine, you can almost dictate it to some degree, obviously. So yeah, I think it's an underrated exercise. I would totally agree with him there. I say he's bang on with that one.
Yeah, it's a good exercise. I don't mind
Yeah.
it.
What about the Smith machines though that don't go straight up and down?
Again, they're okay.
Yeah, I don't mind them either.
I don't
Yeah,
like
I
them.
think they maybe suit some people's profiles a bit better.
Yeah, to be fair, for squatting backwards when the machine's angled backwards slightly, it's going to help you fold up a little bit more.
It's how you use it, isn't it?
Definitely. In terms of like a pressing profile as well, where if you set up on it where it's moving from like in front of you to over the top of you a little bit more, then that's sort
Makes
of a
sense.
path. So yeah, there's a place for me. I'd definitely, if you had a gym, pick two Smith machines, like one at an angle and one straight up and down.
I think I'm just so biased because I used the one at the Body Academy for so long, and it's a Cybex one, the classic one, where it's straight up and down, and I really like that one. I think it's hard to beat.
I like that one as well, to be fair, but I wouldn't say no to one that's slightly angled.
So, have any of you guys used what you call it, one with a counterweight?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So most of them have got counterweights in them. If you can't see it, they've all got every
Yeah.
Smith counterweight in it. They're all in the boxes. So when you take them apart, it's just all in there.
Has the
the back-
Cybex one got one though? I don't think it does it?
What's that?
The Cybex classic one, I don't think it does it?
I think so in the box because we had to dismantle it. We've got two Cybex ones at the gym. We've got the newer one and then we've got the Mark one. So using the Mark 2 at the moment, the Mark 1's getting refurbed. I think it's got in fact, I'm not sure.
I don't think they do. I don't think the Cybex ones do.
Not sure the new one has.
In fact, it must do because I used one. There's one in the gym in Ireland that I go to, and it's the heaviest fucking Smith machine I've ever used in my life. I'd imagine it doesn't have one.
Yeah, there you go. Because some people take them off, and I'm like, fucking hell. Some Smith machines are fucking heavy, and you can literally tell just because they don't have a counterweight in them.
Yeah, but some of them you can like physically see where there's like a cable that comes up off them.
Yeah, that's the top of it.
It's something I'm thinking about buying, but it's like I really want a Cybex one because I know it and I'm used to it. But like they don't come up very often, and when they do, they're fucking expensive.
Yeah, they're like 3-4K.
Yeah, for a Smith machine. Whereas like you can get like a Matrix one for like 900 quid, which I'm not saying I'm going to buy a Matrix one, but
They're fucking bollocks.
not the worst. I have used it before.
The Precore one's good. That's about
Yeah.
5 quid.
Yeah, Precor would be a good shout. Precor Ricarian stuff's usually pretty good. Right, shall we slag another video and maybe call it quits after that before we get sued? We'll go Jeff Nippard again. Sorry, Jeff, but you've got 1.9 million followers, so I feel like we were quite like we weren't being bad there. We were just like analysing it, giving our point of view.
Yeah, well, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Here are 4 overrated exercises.
4 overrated exercises, right? Okay. That makes sense. We've done the underrated ones, so let's do the overrated ones. So let me share my screen again.
He is clutching at straws with these fucking posts now, yeah.
I mean, it's tough. It is tough out there. Right, let's give it this.
Yeah, that's why we're slugging people's content off.
Exercises and what you can do instead. First, front raises. Your front delts already get hampered
agreed,
by
straight away.
horizontal or vertical pressing in your.
It is an overrated exercise straight away. You're doing a lot of fucking front delt, anterior delt when you're pressing, no matter what angle. You can use a flat press, overhead press, whatever. You're getting a lot of front delt, and you can. It's just more time took up in the gym doing that than you could be doing something else, and you're getting a lot of front delt from your pressing. So I've not seen anyone saying, "Oh, I've got fucking shit front delts," really. So I think it's just one of those things that's going to waste a bit of time in the gym.
9 times out of 10, I would probably swap this for doing more side raises. Probably a good tip. But people do that mad thing as well, don't they? They come out, it's just a side raise, come do a front raise, and I don't know.
Mad, isn't it?
So Jeff, you're onto a good one to start with. What's next?
You almost never need any extra isolation work for the anterior delts. Instead of raising the dumbbells straight ahead, raise them out in a Y so that you get more of the side delt fibers involved. Or you can replace any front raises in your program with side raises instead. Second,
Told you.
Yeah, these are good. To be fair,
linear curls. These will hit the biceps since you are flexing your elbow, but hyperextending your wrists will limit your ability to overload the movement. I just do standard easy bar curls or straight bar curls instead. And if you're worried about your forearms taking over, just take a slightly looser grip. Third,
let's pause that. Not even like looking at that. So all right, he fits into that EZ bar fine. If you look at the direction of resistance to the actual the joint, what we're going through in the path of motion, then it's not lining up pretty much with that like path of motion and through the joint. So it's not the force isn't perpendicular to the joint. So it's going to be having some abnormal stress on that joint. But for him, when he used the Z bar, like it lined up with the joint better. For me, it wouldn't really work with that. But yeah, bollocks, that fucking weighted curl shit, absolutely bollocks.
Yeah, I've never even seen that in my life. I'm not going to lie. So to say it's overrated,
I've seen it,
never seen it.
but if you're doing that with two hands here, just go lighter and get two dumbbells.
Yeah, I know. It kind of defies logic, doesn't it?
You're fucking your wrist for doing that as well. Like, just go
Yeah,
get
that amount of supination.
fucking nah.
It's like for me that would be end range anyway, or maybe not actually. I've got quite a bit.
Sweet.
Yeah, talking shit.
But still on rotations, he's nailed it again. Good move.
Yeah, he has nailed it again with this one. To be fair, let's see what he says about it.
standing dumbbell external rotations. A lot of people do these to warm up their shoulders, but gravity points down, meaning that the dumbbells aren't actually applying any resistance to your external rotators. You might as well do them without the dumbbells.
You tried?
Yeah, fair enough.
You're just getting a bicep pump. That's what the dumbbell's doing there, essentially. Forearm pump as well. So, which might not be a bad thing to warm up as well. Let's put that out there.
Cool.
The people that have been doing these for a long time, maybe that's what they're getting out of it. They're doing it before bench press, and actually they're warming up their bicep, which is a major shoulder stabilizer. So maybe not a bad thing.
If you use a cable or a band, all of a sudden you've got tension pointing in the right direction, above the knee rack pulls. Instead,
the stimulus ratio on the rack pulls, it's just going to fuck you, and you're not going to get a lot back.
Yeah, because you'll be able to use a lot of weight, so like you're going to end up with a lot of fatigue from that as well, aren't you?
Yeah. So he's right. There we go. Nailed it again. So he's nailed 4 in a row then with that video. Fair play.
He said he would do a shrug instead, though. Would you do a shrug instead?
Shrug, maybe with like cables, or if my traps really want to grow my traps, which I don't. But if someone wanted to grow the traps, then yeah, do like a cable shrug or something.
About the waiter curls, Athlete X would like to have a word with you.
Oh god, he's terrible at Athlete X.
That might be a good one. We'll finish with one of his. Right, we'll get one. I'll get him up now and see what he's got.
It's fucking awful.
Yeah, he's quite a awful guy. So yeah, well done, Jeff. That's a good post. I might even give it a like. Actually, there we go.
You're not getting sued anymore.
No, we never slagged him. I think we were quite nice to him there. Right, where's this Athlete X? So he might not have the same fate.
Oh, by the way, how fucking cold is it?
Yeah, it's going to be colder. It's going to be colder near you because you're fucking further up north, aren't you?
Oh man, it's brutal. I feel like I'm close to putting the heating on, and it's fucking the start of September.
I had it on in August, man. That's how bad it is. I mean, for like 20 minutes. I'm going to run for a pee for a minute before we start this guy. I really need. Can't hold it. You guys.
I'm going to do the same while you're there.
Oh, sure. Just fucking leave me there. What the fuck do I talk about on my own? Well, this is fucking awkward. I could literally say anything and they will never know. Fucking hell, it was a nightmare going up to Connors. I fucking hate spending time with that cunt. Jesus Christ. Never going up to Scotland again. That was an absolute disaster. Fucking hell. Why the fuck am I doing Physique Factory with him? Connor, I'm hoping that you can cut this in half or edit this bit of the podcast.
You've been chatting to yourself, James?
Yeah, I slagged you off a few times. But yeah.
Deservedly. Oh, that's it. I couldn't hold that in any longer. I was having issues. Right, let's share the screen. I've not even looked at the videos yet, so let's just look at the first one and just see what comes up.
Never ending piss.
I interrupt this this workout to bring you guys a great.
Oh no, he's just trying to sell something. What's this?
That's what he does.
I like to train athletes from the ground up, but if you want to look,
Ah, he's still trying to sell stuff. Jesus Christ.
Is he selling stuff?
Probably.
Rocky soundtrack.
He's got like the most followed fitness thing on YouTube, hasn't he?
Oh, he probably does.
How many of them has he paid for?
Oh, it's just bollocks though, isn't it?
He's not even came up with something there. What's this?
if you're going to do calf raises, don't do them like this because your calves likely won't grow. Look, we already have a hard enough time getting them to grow as it is, but if you keep bouncing through every repetition, it ain't going to happen. And there's a reason for it. Anatomically, our Achilles tendons that the calf muscle is attached to are built for these ballistic, bouncy type repetitions. If you want to actually get the muscle itself to
he's sort of right with that. Stretch short and
and
cycle.
when you get to the bottom, hold it for 4 seconds to take all that ballistic stretch aspect of it out of the Achilles tendon and force it to be felt on the muscle itself. When you get back up to the top, feel that contraction for 4 seconds up there too. Again, these bouncy repetitions up and down aren't helping you out at all.
Well,
yeah, he's 50-50. Don't bounce, but you don't need to fucking hold it for 4 seconds at the top and 4 seconds at the bottom because that's just taking away of how much you can load the exercise.
not the worst video I've ever seen. I've heard a lot of bad things about him too.
The worst calves I've ever seen.
They're mine. I thought that was my cast when I was watching this. What else? Let's see what else he's got. This builds big biceps. Let's see.
First exercise up, you're going to take a weight that's your 10 rep max on a dumbbell incline curl. And instead of doing 10 reps, you're going to perform just 5 repetitions, but most importantly, taking a 3-second slow eccentric lowering of the dumbbells and then 1 second back up to the top. You do 5 repetitions. If you do the math right there, that should be 20 seconds of work. Without resting, you immediately sit up. Again, change the position of the body in a mechanical drop set to now perform just a seated dumbbell curl. You should be able to continue because this position is going to be slightly easier. 5 more repetitions done here with that same 3-second eccentric lowering. And then you simply lean forward and now perform a drag curl. Once again, a slightly easier exercise because of the change in position of the body. 5 more repetitions, 3 seconds on the way down, 1 second up. That gives you a total of 1 minute of work. Drop the weights that you just used, pick up 5 pounds lighter, and go through the whole sequence again. The idea is to get through 5 to 6 total minutes of this to a really intense biceps workout.
Well,
if someone can do that for 5 to 6 minutes, I'll be fucking surprised.
Wouldn't you do that the other way around just because we're stronger in that lengthened position and we've probably got a little bit more? And then obviously we're leaning forward, we're getting it shorter, then we're going to fatigue when it's shorter first. And then it makes sense doing that completely the other way around.
Probably. But is there much difference between the first two? Is what I was wondering.
There's not much because he's literally moving his arms back anyway when he sits up.
Yeah.
And plus his arms are his elbows are moving, like in terms of like his upper arms moving. So
depends how much you restrict your fucking arms from moving in that first one, innit? You really need to pin them back and hold them, which is then going to take a little bit of the shortened position out of it. You're not going to get as high, I don't think.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen either, though.
It's going to give you a good burn. Like somebody trying that after, it's going to be like, oh my god, that is the best fucking workout ever.
Yeah. Yeah,
because it's going to burn like fuck. Your bicep is going to feel like it's bulging.
I knew you'd click on that one. My favorite exercise. Why don't you do it on a bench?
Yeah.
All right, turning sideways. I don't mind turning sideways because obviously your scapula is going to move across your rib cage and you're going to lengthen the lat a little bit more. So that's fine, but I would not fucking do that standing.
He looks like he's ready to fight someone.
In that photo.
All the haters.
Yeah, he's fighting off the haters. Yeah, again, like it's not a great exercise in terms of like this guy says for hypertrophy is bad. But not bad is a poor choice of word. But like there's certainly better ways. Like again, do it with a bench. Fucking sit down like that and do it like that. That's going to be better. But it's not as bad as I was expecting. I've heard a lot about this guy, and they're not as bad as I was expecting to see. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Quite ripped as well, isn't he?
That's what sells it.
Yeah.
he's always going to sell shit. I think that's why people hate him.
Aye, he's ripped, but like, is that the exercises he's done to get ripped?
Maybe. Well, so we've got increases
There's
bicep.
another one as well, actually, to your left.
Can't impress me, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. That.
Yeah, that was a weird one, that wasn't it?
I was like, what the fuck?
I actually just thought he had his hand on the wall.
Yeah, I was like,
and then he fucking got up and walked away. To be fair, it's funny regardless.
What were you talking about there, Gav?
That one you're on now, aye.
This one.
Yeah.
I think it's that same exercise again. Oh no, it's the landmine press.
Yeah.
I don't mind a landmine press. I wouldn't use it personally.
yeah, it's not bad, is it?
Yeah, use it for a lot of like clients and that, like because it's obviously like you're getting a bit of that anti-rotation as well, which he's kind of leaning into by rotating a little bit, but like you're getting all that kind of abdominal work because you're trying to keep all this stuff still whilst you're like doing your press. So I quite like it, to be fair. Isn't this internal rotation which has adverse effects in the shoulders as well? Is that James that made that comment?
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with internal rotation. It just depends on someone's fucking shoulder.
Yeah, that's it. We're all built that differently. That like again, and we've all got different ranges as well. So what's bad for one person might not be bad for the next. But yeah, interesting.
In lateral raises, standing upright and then internally rotating and raising up from there. That's not generally a bad thing. But what I find with most people is their shoulder can't tolerate it. But in terms of like the side delt being on top of the axis and working, it lines up quite well. So it makes sense in terms of that. But if you've got any issues with your shoulder, then I wouldn't do it. But if it's fine with your shoulder, then you can do it.
There's so much goes into this, so much like subjectiveness as well. And like I think anyone who's posting on Instagram, including us, it's like it's very hard to put the correct information out there for everyone because there's always going to be that person it doesn't apply to. You put up a leg press video and someone's in the comment, oh, well, I've got no legs. This isn't right for me.
Exactly.
I think we wrap it up at that. We'll give Athlete X. He got away with it today. But like just because he got away with it this time doesn't mean he will the next time.
We'll find something in the time being.
Right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back soon.